What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. I hope you enjoyed your weekend. Maybe you're on a holiday weekend. It is, in fact, a holiday weekend. So hopefully you got an extra day off to watch and listen to my face. 10-Minute Mailbag is here to answer your questions. And I believe in transparency, so I'm going to talk about something right quick. There is an individual who has commented on a few of my videos recently who says that I should make these videos longer and stop just catering to the minimum length for YouTube payout. I don't know if that's even true. I'm a YouTube partner, and I have no idea if my videos have to be 10 minutes to get monetized. I honestly don't care. I made $14 from YouTube last week. 14. It doesn't matter to me. And because 10-Minute Mailbag kind of just rolls off the tongue, that's what it will remain. So thank you. Now that that nonsense is out of the way, we can get to the actual questions from the real people who love me. I hope you do. Thank you guys for being here again. Make sure you subscribe down below. We're on the road to 2K. And of course, comment your questions down below. We'll get to them next week. Our first question today comes from Nicholas Haro. So Nicholas, thank you for your question. Before I answer it, I'm just going to throw 10 minutes on the old clock here. Boom, it's ready. And we'll get going. All right, so 3, 2, 1, begin. Nicholas, thank you again. Do you think future MLB The Show games need to regress 99 player attributes similar to where they were in 19 and before? He doesn't like the fact that you can have 125s and 125 power and this and that it juices the cards to an extreme level and probably ultimately impacts team building. I don't disagree that I think it is odd that, I don't know, this Brandon Crawford card, for example, is the juiciest effing thing I've ever seen. And to my recollection, while Brandon Crawford has been a solid, if unspectacular player in his career, has he had 1 or 2 stellar offensive seasons in his life? I could be wrong. Giants fans stand up if I'm incorrect. But from what I can remember, I'm pretty sure I only remember 1 actually bonkers season. So, yes, it is odd that so many of these player cards coming out are now juicy 5 tools. You say it makes the game boring in your opinion, and that's totally fair. It's your opinion. You can have whatever opinion you'd like. I don't know if boring is the word I'd use. I would say it makes team building boring. I don't know if that makes the game boring. It makes team building pretty the same for everybody. Like, there are the demon cards that are pretty accessible, and you have to use them. Otherwise, your team is at a severe disadvantage. I don't know if scaling back to 99 as the attribute cap is the answer, or keeping this 125 cap for certain categories and just being less generous with some of these things. Maybe Brandon Crawford's contact versus left should not be, it starts at, what, a parallel 3, minus 3, 118? That's a little high. Maybe it's 100. Maybe his power is 80. Maybe there's ways within this 125 scale to play around. The reason the 125 scale exists was to show that players are certainly better than the best in the game, like all-timers or things like that, all-time great seasons. They wanted to have a way also to increase the attribute like scale to provide for more variance. There's a lot of stuff that goes around in this. I do think team building would be better if the attributes weren't all juiced across the board, but at the same time, it doesn't bother me a ton. I will use the cards that are good or the cards that I like, regardless of what they look like. So that's just kind of where my head's at. But I understand your question, and I feel your question. I'm curious if anybody else agrees, disagrees. Let me know down below what you guys think. Nicholas, thank you for your question. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Michael Rochester, good old Michael. How you doing, buddy? Do you think if SDS had a model of cycling legends in and out after 1 year, would it be successful? I see what you're getting at. I imagine what you mean by this, or your intended goal of this, would be to make it feel unique when Mickey Mantle comes back after a year away and everyone's excited to use him again. We could use that for any legend across the board. I just happened to say Mickey Mantle. I see where your head's at. I don't know if it fixes anything. I also worry that they don't have enough of a legend roster to then compensate for, like, swapping guys in and out every year, or every 2 years, or whatever it would be. I also worry that, and you guys will have to correct me down below, but I'm pretty sure, that once a legend has been introduced and their contract runs out, we've never gotten that guy back again. I'm thinking of recent guys like Hornsby and Ted Williams and people like that. We've never gotten them back. I'm trying to think of examples. It doesn't, players retiring and then coming back doesn't count, like Curtis Granderson, like that doesn't count. But legends, I feel like once we lose them, we lose them. And maybe that's just kind of how it was built into their contracts. Maybe it's a money thing. Maybe it's a freshen the game thing, like you're talking about here. Keeping things fresh by changing legends around. I don't know. I'd be interested to hear again what you guys think on this, because I kind of like the way they do it. We get a legend for a few years, he goes away, we get some new legends that come in. One and done kind of seems off to me, so I don't know. But Michael, I appreciate the thought. Next up, Jonathan Perkinson. What's up, Jonathan? The show commentators mention Manny Ramirez, Roger Clemens, and others throughout the gameplay. Do you think we'll see any new legends in set 5 or 6? First of all, I don't listen to the gameplay. I had no effing idea that they mentioned Manny Ramirez and Roger Clemens. That's cool to me. I imagine that is legal because we're not using their image or likeness. But I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Do you think we'll see new legends in set 5 or 6? No. Because if SDS was paying attention, and these last couple programs and event and stuff make me believe that they are, they would have known their game was dying really quickly this year, and any new legends they had scheduled for the back end of 5 and 6, they would have bumped up to, like, set 2 and 3. It is rare, if not maybe never done, to get a new legend this late in the game cycle. Usually they would come in the summer, like when we got Matt Holliday. I believe, is Matt Holliday the most recent new legend that's dropped in this game? I think so. I think Matt Holliday is the Kaiju card. So, no, to answer the second part of your question, rather, no, I don't think we're going to get new legends in set 5 and 6. But that's super cool that Manny Ramirez and Roger Clemens are mentioned. Again, I had no idea. Maybe that opens the door for some money being thrown around in the future to get them. I think we all agree that we want Manny Ramirez. Roger Clemens is a little bit more controversial in terms of the steroids and this and that, but at the same time, McGuire and Sosa are here, so I don't know, maybe not. Maybe not. I also don't know. Would Clemens be good? Did he throw anything meta? I have no idea. It sucks that we have to ask if Roger Clemens threw meta pitches for him to be effective, but it's a fair question. But thank you, Jonathan, for your question. I appreciate that. Interesting thought. Scotland, Scotty DK, does SDS need to add an auto forfeit option for the X amount of consecutive auto pitches or a 3-inning mercy for events BR? Yeah, Scotty asked this question because on stream last week, the week before, a recent stream, we were playing events and BR and stuff, and we ran into a silly willy who didn't like getting his ass cheeks clapped, because I was clapping them, with permission, of course. And then, instead of quitting like an adult would do, or continuing to compete like an adult would do, he threw a temper tantrum and auto-pitched for 3 innings. So I had a decision to make. I could A, continue swinging and score 100 runs. He also, when the ball was in play, he didn't go get it, he didn't throw it. It was an automatic home run every time if I wanted it. I think we were also at Capital Lang. Go figure. Or I could just sit there, which is what I ended up doing. I scored about 10 runs, and then I sat there texting and talking to chat while he auto-pitched fastballs for strikes. And then he also didn't swing when he was up. Or maybe he did. I don't remember. He sucked either way, so he didn't score. It was a very stupid, silly game. A waste of about 20 minutes, maybe even longer, 25, 30 minutes. And because it's a 3-inning mode, there's no mercy and there's no griefing unless you just consecutively hit batters. Yes, to get back. There's a long-winded way to say yes. There should be griefing rules for auto pitches. There should be griefing rules for not playing the field. There should be any number of ways where people can do this. We should be able to combat it. It's annoying and frustrating, and I know it doesn't happen all the time, but it happens frequently enough where it's bad. And because children, or adult children, play this game and act like that, I think we need to have a means to get out of those games. Get the griefing win, move on with your life, and I also think that person should get a cooldown, or a timeout, whatever you want to call it. Because that's bullshit, if we're being honest. So, thank you, Scott. Yes, of course. I thank you for dealing with the stream while that was going on. And another Scott has a question, a different Scott. It's the Scottyverse, the Spider-Man meme. They're pointing at each other. What do you hope for next year's game? This is a question because last week I asked me about next year's game. What I hope for next year's game is to see shorter sets and seasons, because I think sets and seasons can work, but I think they need to be shorter. I think they need to be 30 to 35 days, not 50 to 60 days. I understand why they did 50 to 60 days this time, because the timelines lined up perfectly with large events. All-Star Game and Home Run Derby, postseason, finest soon. I understand 100%. It tracks with me perfectly why they decided to do the length that they did, but I think it ultimately led to so much bleh at the end or middle to every set, because it's nothing to do, and there's nothing fun to drag us in. So 30, 35 days, create a little sense of urgency. I think that works better. The second thing I hope to see, and it goes along with sets and seasons again, Mills and I talked about this extensively, they need a deeper legend pool. The other way to refresh sets and seasons, whether it's 60 days, 30 days, 45 days, 15 days, whatever days you want them to be, there aren't enough legends, there aren't enough players to diversify lineups and give people options. I think for MLB The Show to take the next step in general, whether it's sets and seasons, online play, offline play, that doesn't matter. In general, for MLB The Show to take a next step in terms of content, it needs a legend pool that resembles that of Madden or 2K or I don't know. Does NHL have legends? I honestly don't know. It needs more. It needs to be able to represent more fan bases. It needs more Hall of Fame caliber players. It needs more guys from the 90s and 2000s we all love. That's why we played the name game on Whiteboard Wednesday last week. For MLB The Show to take the next step, shorten sets and seasons, give me more legends, and I think we're already in a good place. That'll do it for another 10-minute mailbag. I'm sorry if you thought it was too short. It keeps you coming back for more. New uploads Monday through Thursday on the YouTube, of course, as always. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below. Let's kill the YouTube algorithm. Let's make me happy. Let's get to 2,000 subscribers. We're not just doing it for me. This is a community that I am so happy I've built. I've met a lot of cool people. You guys are awesome. You support me. I support anything you do. We're all homies. So thank you guys for being here. Love you so much. See you next time.